It's easing the land blockade of Gaza, expanding the list of goods allowed into the territory, and it comes after international criticism over Israel's attack on ships carrying aid to the region last month. However, Palestinians say only a complete end to the siege would ensure a decent life. RT's Polis Lear has the story.
Rahyan Shahada sifts through the dirt and stones of what used to be Gaza's only airport. But the last time a plane landed here was 9 years ago. Since then, only Israeli shells have touched down, and in recent years, nothing. The money Rahyan gets from selling gravel finances his college studies, because building materials are in short supply in Gaza, and have been ever since Israel imposed its economic blockade 4 years ago.
I never would have believed we'd destroy what remained of our airport, but we do it to survive. We use the gravel from here to help construct buildings, and it's also a way to resist the blockade.
On Thursday, Israel announced it was easing its blockade on Gaza. It says it will now allow more construction materials for civilian projects to get in, but only under United Nations supervision. Jerusalem's afraid materials like cement and steel could be used to build weapons and military fortifications. But Gazans insist they need them to rebuild homes and buildings that were destroyed by the Israeli army a year and a half ago. Over the next few days, the Israeli cabinet will flesh out the details of its new policy.
We are looking forward for intensive discussions, aiming at finding the way among all these flotillas and other events to refocus on the need to move forward in the peace process.
Israel's hoping that easing the blockade will help blunt international criticism for its handling of a flotilla 2 weeks ago in which 9 people were killed. It's also hoping Western governments will now heed its call and issue travel warnings to their citizens not to participate in future planned flotilla missions. Building supplies are now making their way into the Gaza Strip. These were previously prohibited by Israel. But will these steps be enough to satisfy Gaza and the international community? It seems not. Hamas and human rights groups say the move is nothing more than window dressing.
There is no such thing as easing the siege. This siege must be totally and completely lifted. This is a collective punishment against 1.5 million people living in Gaza. It has no political dimension, no security dimension.
Until now, Israel's policy was to ban all goods from entering Gaza unless they appeared on an approved list. This has now been reversed. Everything's allowed in unless it's on the banned list.
Gaza CLA is operating to allow the access of more than 100 trucks filled with goods on a daily basis to the Gaza Strip, in spite of the terrorist situation and threat that we need to deal in this area.
But for Gazans on the other side of the border, it will take a while before they feel a difference. Until then, Rahyan and his friends will continue to scrounge through the dirt to find what they can to survive. Polis Lear, RT, at the Kerem Shalom border crossing between Israel